New at 4, Clay County Sheriff Eddie Scott identified the victim that was killed at the Oasis nightclub in Clay County. He said Talise Chandler. She was 20 years old and she lived in Columbus. Sheriff Eddie Scott says that a picture was actually taken moments before she was killed by the gunfire. Now, WTVA's Chris Knowles has been following this story for us all day. He joins us live in Clay County with the latest details on that investigation.
Yeah, Tanya, I'm standing here just outside of the Oasis nightclub. I'm going to give you a look right now at this scene. It's still an active investigation, so there's still an active crime scene right now. One thing different from earlier, there was a Nissan, I believe Maxima or Sentra, that was sitting right here in this area. It's gone now, but if you look, there's still lots and lots of caution tape up on the scene at this moment, as well as back there. Now, city officials came together today because they're fed up with the violence that's happening, and they met up this morning to come up with ways to approach this violence. Here are some of the things that they are working on. Now, Sheriff Eddie Scott tells me that there have been numerous complaints of this nightclub, and this has been going on for years now. He said there are literally hundreds of complaints from the nightclub. He told me those complaints range from loud music, drug activity, and traffic being blocked, and most importantly, numerous shootings and homicides. Today, the Board of Supervisors and law enforcement met to take necessary action to secure the community.
Well, the owners of the club actually stood up and told the Board of Supervisors this morning that they are voluntarily going to close the club, which is right now I've got the club shut down anyway and have no intentions of letting it open back up anytime soon. So the board did take that, what they said, under advisement, and are looking at any potential legal actions they could do to maybe prevent it from opening back up.
We have a plan that we're getting ready to implement to try to combat all this shooting, dealing with nightclubs, but we have
those things.
Cameras. We got to update cameras. We got to get ordinance. We got to make sure they are abiding by what we have in place. It's not anything very hard. They just got to do what we ask them to do.
Right now, Sheriff Scott says that investigators are working to get clarity on what really happened that night. He says that there are a minimum of 3 shooters suspected. He also says several types of weapons were used, and one weapon was recovered on side of the highway. Sheriff also tells me that over 95% of the participants here at the nightclub that night are from out of town. That's one thing that's making this investigation a bit more difficult. Now, coming up on WTVA 9 News at 5 o'clock, we will have a live look inside of a press conference that the district attorney, Scott Colomb, has called. So you'll get a look inside of that press conference addressing this recent violence. I'm Chris Knowles live in Clay County for WTVA 9.